First of all, I love both my wife and kids. But here is the deal. When we started a family 18 years ago, we had one kid. My wife, at the time, Assam, insisted on having a second kid. I resisted and we both verbally agreed she would be fully responsible. I said it was going to be too expensive. She insisted she would cover everything: ballet, music lessons, sports, etc. She has some family money from her home country. It may come off as a joke or humorous banter, but I was serious about the commitment we would make. And there would be a drastic change to our family. So I bring this up every few years and she sorts of laughs it off. There is nothing I wouldn't do for my daughter. I love my princess and spoil her dearly. So here is the story. Now here has what has changed. Wife is no longer Sam and took up a job as the kids got older. At first, it was low-paying job, so I really didn't care. Started at $40,000 per year. Now, $96,000. So I never really asked her about her finances. It was her pocket money and she spent it as she saw fit, mostly on things for the kids as she promised. I contribute 90% of all the expenses. Mortgages, car, insurance, everything. When my wife needed a car, I'd buy it and pay for it. We both aggressively saved. I saved up enough for our firstborn for his college. Around $200,000. I stopped spending for myself when he hit 7th grade. No new toys, no new cars. Just aggressively save for both. I can probably cover my daughter as well. But now my son wants to look at Ivy League schools and medical school. I promised him, I will go all the way. Since I make good money, we don't qualify for financial aid of any kind. A top state college, UCLA, is $45,000 a year. Harvard or Stanford are $100,000 a year. A big jump. I can't afford to send 2 kids to Ivy. I could send both to state schools. If I had to, we could do it. I can liquidate some investments. So I told my wife, she needs to help out. She does indeed help out. She pays for groceries, property taxes, etc. She has bought me expensive things like cars in the past, watches, and take us on nice family vacations. But it is a small portion of what I cover to support the family. We both save, but she can save a lot more when she has little expenses. Last time she showed me her account, she had $100,000 in a HYSA in 2020. It is now 2025 and I know it is more. I venture she stashes around $50,000 a year. She is also a foreign-born. She transferred another $100,000 to the US, which I won't get into. I told her that it is her money before we got married, like I have assets before I married her as well. I went on and said, hey, we can get divorced. In 2 years, you'd qualify for student aid for our daughter under FAFSA based on her income. Then she got angry, because a divorce means I'd take my assets. I basically told her we need to combine our assets for both kids. Otherwise, I am gonna stick it to her original deal years ago. She is financially responsible for our daughter. I also think my daughter heard in the next room, her bedroom. I love my daughter, but things need to be fair and I am only doing this to force equity in the household. As I mentioned, I went full-on frugal when my kids approached middle school. I also want my daughter to have all means within our family arsenal as well. I flat out told my wife, she isn't going to coerce my kids to go to community college if they don't want to. My wife does have the means to abide by our initial agreement years ago. AITAH for taking this stance? I already told my wife, we need to consolidate all our money into a family trust for both our kids. In the event something happens, we all have access. If I die, she would have access to mine and vice versa. There is a clear misunderstanding or miscomprehension of how I prioritize my kids. I am not favoring my son over my daughter. I clearly wrote I will make it work. Pull out of retirement funds. Even mention I will sell a rental home I have under my name to fund whatever I need to do. I saved up $200,000 first as my son is first to go. That covers 4 years of UCLA. My daughter is younger, 6 years younger. By the time she goes to college, I will have $200,000 for her as well for a UC school. If I can save $200K in 4 years for the first kid, I can do it for the second as I have 6 years. My scenario is if both go to Ivy, there is a big jump and I have to cover $100,000 a year for each kid. That is $800,000 total. That is why I am asking my wife to pitch in. Why should I pull out of my retirement, pay a penalty or sell a home and possibly take a loss if my wife has the funds available? Why is she hoarding it? Someone asked, why? I think she sees it as retirement. She comes as foreign born, so they like to hoard cash. I already told her I can provide for her in retirement. But if I sell a rental property so my daughter can go to NYU or somewhere out of state, it cuts into our retirement. That is what I am trying to convey to my wife. If there was transparency, this would not be a problem. She has access to all my funds except my retirement. And I have some property under my name before the marriage. To me, it belongs to all of us. I have been very transparent about doing a trust, so if anything happens to anyone, the kids are covered. Thanks for watching, come back again.